Ever wondered how a tiny virus can rewrite the course of history? Let's delve into the tale of smallpox. This is no ordinary tale, it's a story of a highly contagious and deadly disease that has left an indelible mark on our past. Smallpox, a disease that's been responsible for numerous epidemics, has etched its name into the annals of human history. This virus has not just been a health catastrophe, but also a socio-political game changer. It has shown us how something microscopic can topple empires, decimate populations, and transform the landscapes of entire continents. From the bustling cities of Europe to the untouched lands of the New World, smallpox has been an unwelcome guest, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. But where did this tiny yet powerful virus come from? How did it manage to wreak such havoc among the human population? So how did this tiny virus come into existence and wreak such havoc? Let's travel back in time to find out. The story of smallpox begins around 10,000 BC during the agricultural revolution in Northeast Africa. This era marked the birth of a deadly disease that would go on to shape the course of human history. The first evidence of the smallpox virus has been found on the faces of Egyptian mummies dating back to the 3rd century BC. These telltale pockmarks reveal a silent, ancient battle fought against an invisible enemy. As civilizations grew, so did trade networks connecting remote corners of the world. Unfortunately, these routes didn't just transport goods, they also carried diseases, smallpox included. From Northeast Africa, the virus spread along these trade routes, reaching as far as Asia and other parts of Africa. Villages, towns, and entire empires lived under the shadow of this relentless disease, their fates intertwined with the ebb and flow of the smallpox outbreaks. The deadly virus was on the move, and its next stop was Europe. By the 17th century, smallpox had become a major epidemic in Europe. The virus was no respecter of rank or status, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. From the humblest peasant to the loftiest monarch, smallpox was an unwelcome visitor, causing numerous outbreaks and claiming millions of lives. Kings and queens were not immune, with many losing their lives to the virulent disease. While Europe was grappling with the smallpox epidemic, the New World was about to have its first encounter with the deadly disease. The arrival of European explorers introduced smallpox to the indigenous populations of the Americas. Unprepared and with no natural immunity, these communities were decimated. Entire tribes were wiped out, their cultures and traditions lost to the sands of time. After wreaking havoc on 3 continents, a ray of hope emerged in the form of a milkmaid and a doctor. In the late 18th century, a doctor named Edward Jenner made a discovery that would change the course of history. This English physician observed something peculiar in the rural landscapes of Gloucestershire. Milkmaids who had contracted cowpox, a less severe disease, seemed to be immune to the dreaded smallpox. Curiosity piqued. Jenner decided to put his hypothesis to the test. In a daring experiment, he collected pus from a milkmaid's cowpox sore and inoculated an 8-year-old boy with it. After the boy recovered from a mild bout of cowpox, Jenner exposed him to smallpox. The result? The boy was unscathed. Jenner's observations had borne fruit. We had the world's first vaccine. This groundbreaking development was no less than a revolution in medical science. It provided humanity with a powerful shield against smallpox, a disease that had claimed countless lives over centuries. Thanks to Jenner's discovery, humanity finally had a weapon to fight back against smallpox. In the 20th century, the World Health Organization launched an intense global smallpox eradication campaign. It was a monumental effort, involving millions of health workers, countless vaccinations, and an unparalleled international cooperation. The strategy was simple, yet effective: ring vaccination. Instead of vaccinating entire populations, the focus was on isolating smallpox patients and vaccinating everyone around them, thereby forming a protective ring. This global crusade against smallpox yielded spectacular results. By the mid-70s, the virus was cornered to just a handful of countries, and then, in 1980, came the announcement the world had been waiting for. Smallpox was declared eradicated. It was a historic moment, marking the first, and to date, the only time a human disease has been completely wiped off the face of the earth. So that's the tale of smallpox, a tiny virus that reshaped history. Next time you wonder about the power of tiny things, remember the story of smallpox.